What's up, baby? Space talk time. Following the Steelers taking care of business versus those super bummy Cleveland Browns. 28-14. Obviously, Steelers go 1-2. Finish the season 9-8. Chalk it up. Another winning season for the guy, Mr. Coach Mike Tomlin. But of course, as a lot of you are starting to realize, if you have not done so already, not going to be in the postseason this year. Buffalo took care of business. They won they won at home against the Patriots. Took care of that. That was beautiful. Today gonna fight in Joe Flacco's let us down in South Beach. Lord have mercy. Just didn't get the job done. So here we are. But either way, we still got plenty that we're going to talk about with this game, man. Plenty that was very positive, man, with the situation. So you know how we always do. Hit that like button on the front end. Subscribe if you have not done so just yet. And go ahead and drop where you are tuning in from. So that way I can get that big boy shout out to start off the Space Talk the right way, baby. Let's go. All right. I see we got Rianne Farber tuning in from the 785 Northwest Kansas. Shout out. And we got the homie Hannibal 090 tuning in from the 770 Atlanta, the ATL. Shouted. Let's get it. Beef Salsa tuning in from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Love that. Eli Roman tuning in from New Jersey. Salute you. And then we got Brant Strolling tuning in from Daytona Beach. Man, I love it down there. I hope you're enjoying yourself. HP Truck Lines tuning in from Knoxville, Tennessee. Then after that, we got Brian Stevenson in here tuning in from the 919 Raleigh in the house. Love to see that. Let's see who else we got tapping in with us tonight. Or this afternoon, because technically it's not the nighttime just yet. It's only 4:23. So I don't want to call that the night. Let's call it late afternoon. Yeah. But Terrell Drayton tuning in from the 610 Lehigh Valley. Love that. Let's see. Thomas Villa, the 602 Phoenix. And Wendy Johnson, salute you. Always holding it down on the west side, the 562 Long Beach, California. Then after that, Gerard Green tuning in from the 702 Vegas, baby. Yeah, I believe since, knowing how the schedule is going to be working, I think we should be going out to Vegas next year for a game now. So, shout out to Vegas. Oh, we got Leah Warren tuning in from the 254 Killeen, Texas. I was so excited to get Killeen, Texas out. I couldn't even get it out. But shout out to you, Leah Warren. She says, won the battle, lost the war. James Martin, the 740 Zanesville, Ohio, says the future is bright. I'm excited. You better believe it. I'm excited as well, man. Rod Dollar. Oh, shout out to the homie Rod Dollar tuning in from the 330 Youngstown, Ohio. And it's Line, baby. Let's get it. And the last one I'll highlight is Mr. Malvo tuning in from the 562. Actually, I had one more. Kenneth Moses, because he's tuning in from the 757. Virginia Beach says good win, but more importantly, it is the crib. So shout out to the 757 one time. All right, baby. All right, let's tap in. Initial thoughts on this game. Started a little slow, especially offensively. Thought, we did some positive stuff in terms of being physical out the gate. It was definitely liking some of the just intensity from a running standpoint, right? You talk about Najee Harris. I thought for 4 quarters, he was one of those bruising type running backs, man. The type that we've been seeing post-bye week, the type that we've been seeing, especially these past couple of games, that real just aggressive nature with him. So I was really impressed with that part. I thought early on that the pass protection was really good. I thought that they were keeping Kenny clean early on in this game. Now, obviously, we know as it in some of the obvious passing situations, Myles Garrett was, starting to have a little bit of success, but nothing that became too damning for the team, right? So like I said, definitely like that. I thought in terms of the receivers, man, when you talk George Pickens, it's just another one of them games where he just continues to show that he is top flight, that he is all world, that, he's essentially one of those unguardable type guys. And he ends with 3 catches, 72 yards, had the touchdown, long of 31. And he was actually targeted more, 6 targets. And just think, man, it was a couple of them out there where it's like, dude, I thought he had the toes down. Unfortunately, he didn't. But then you saw the other one where it was just a little bit of a near miss. But he's one of those guys that I think he's definitely ready to take that next step, man. Because, yeah, really impressed with him, man. Really impressed. I thought that Connor Hayward, another guy, man, had an opportunity. Obviously, he's already a part of the offense, but had even more of an opportunity in terms of just getting some targets down the stretch with Pat going out, and definitely hope Pat's good. But, yeah, it was good to see from Connor, man, that he can go up and make some big-time plays, man, across the middle of the field, showing off some of the hands and some of his athletic ability. So, like I said, definitely like that. Deontay Johnson, man, they was trying their hardest to get my man in the end zone, but it just wasn't meant to be this season, which is crazy to say, but it just wasn't meant to be for him this season. He did get the 2-point conversion, though, so we got to salute him for that, but as a whole, man, I would have definitely have liked for my dog to at least get one of them tutties, man, because they was trying and he was cooking. He was open both times. They was throwing it to him on them slant routes. Just so happened that, man, the D lineman just, getting them pats, the PBUs and stuff like that, man. So, that's the part that, is unfortunate for him. But still, man, he put together, another one of them days where, he just continues to show that when you need him, man, if he can get his hands on that football, he can still make some plays. Now, I'm glad some of those drops were really just, incompletion, not drops, but just incompletions versus it being completion fumble, because, yeah, that was kind of making me nervous for a little while. I think it's just PTSD with him. But outside of that, it's like, yo, I won't be having anything where I feel apprehensive about his game, but sometimes it's like the ball. I don't know, man. Just keep it secure for me a little bit more. Now when we take it over to that defensive side of the ball, which I was super duper impressed with. I mean, first off, you hold the Cleveland Browns 14 points. You talk about minimizing their rushing attack. Now, some of this was from lack of attempts, but at the other element of it, they did do it effectively enough in terms of just minimizing Nick Chubb. 12 carries, 77 yards. Now, he was still getting his when they wanted to run it with him, but they really did not, from my perspective, commit like that. And that was part of the identity crisis that we said on the podcast when we were talking about, strengths and weaknesses of this team. We said that, man, they don't really, They usually run the ball a lot more, but since Deshaun Watson had been back, they had transitioned to more of this passing approach. And we saw that being reflected today. Deshaun Watson threw the ball 29 times. Now, we know at the end of the game he had to throw it a little bit more, but it was still various points in the game where typically under Stefanski, where these would be run plays or run calls, they were really allowing Deshaun to just start to, throw it a little bit more. And like I said, that really helped us out because Deshaun, as we talked about, him being rusty, him not being up to, Deshaun Watson of 2020, this was what it was going to be like. So that definitely was a benefit for us. And, we took advantage of that. And that was also reflected when you talk about just how we were able to defend the pass. Was it 2 interceptions that we ended up getting. Shout out to DeMonte Casey flying around out there, and Levi Wallace, Mr. Thumbs Down. Definitely was liking that when I saw that out there for those two dudes, man. But, when you just talk about their passing attack, did they have some success? Yeah, I mean, they still I think he hit it over 230. Yeah, 230 passing and stuff like that on the game. So still had some moments. But as a whole, we didn't allow Amari Cooper to kill us. He was the one who had over 100 yards receiving last time. Had 2 catches, 51 yards. Like I said, he still was high now. He only had 3 targets. But either way, we kept him out of that 100 mark. And then when you talk about David Njoku, who was the other guy in that first matchup to also get us and have, I think, close to 100 yards receiving as well, held him 4 catches for 42 yards. Now, he did have the touchdown, but as a whole, we did not allow any of those guys to have over 52 yards receiving. So on the back end, those guys did what they needed to do, but I thought it really just started up front. I thought our pass rush was dominant today, man. We ended up with, 7 sacks? Yeah, 7 sacks total. And a ton of hits, a ton of pressures. And if it wasn't for Deshaun Watson just being super athletic in certain parts, we probably would have had him even more times than that. And that was really impressive to me. When you're looking at just in terms of those guys up front, Highsmith ended up with 2.5 sacks. Cam had 2 sacks. I think TJ had a half. Larry had a sack as well. Them dudes, man, they just beat them up front. And that's what also was shown on tape with the Browns, though. We said, when they're allowed to run the ball predominantly and then they throw on occasion or outside of play action pass, I think that offensive line pass protects extremely well. But when they have to drop back pass for multiple plays consecutively in obvious passing situations, that's not their game versus a unit like what we have. And I thought that really started to show. And it got to the point where it was just comical at times watching Deshaun try to run around back there. And we're just like, all right, who's going to get the sack this time? Who's about to get another one? I mean, talk about Alex Highsmith, the 2.5, them put that man at 14.5 of them sacks for the season. Shout out to him. Oh my gosh, like let's go. So like I said, man, you love to see that type of stuff right there. But man, like I said, just as a whole, I thought that the team did what they needed to do, man. We obviously don't get what we want big picture wise in terms of getting that opportunity to go to the postseason, but we controlled what we could control, which was what? Going out there and winning today, making sure that we secure at least a winning season, because we say, man, that's the first prerequisite to making it to the postseason. And then after that, obviously you got to get to the Super Bowl. But we at least accomplished that first part. So like I said, man, I definitely like that. And when you talk about the turnaround, let me take a sip real quick because the turnaround was crazy, right? I mean, it was a point in time where, we're sitting at 2-6. It looks like a disaster across the board. And, it was a lot. Just a lot that was being contemplated, right? Firing this guy, fire that guy. Are these players good? Are these players not good? And things like that. But since the bye week for these guys, this team specifically goes 7-2 down the stretch, ended winning 4 games in a row. Was that 2 division opponents in the process of doing that, man. I thought that was extremely impressive. And it's not a finished product. They definitely still have a ton of work to do, ton of tweaking, whether we're talking about personnel on the coaching staff or even on the football field, man. But I did really think that, the way that they finished the day and the way that they finished down the stretch was super dope. And to be a fan of the team, that's what you want to see. You want to see the growth. You want to see this team developing and their continued progress. And I thought that we really got a chance to see all of those things. And even though, like we said, man, it wasn't always a perfect progression in terms of them improving, we still could very much point to multiple areas and say, hey, man, we got better here. We got better here. We got better here. Now, we still got some areas of improvement. Now, when we talk areas of improvement, yes, red zone offense, we got to get better. Now, part of that was what? You had a fumble in the red zone, right? We had the Najee Harris situation. And then we had I'm trying to think on the last one. Dude, I can't remember, did we end up scoring on that last one? Oh, man. I'm trying to think because now the couple of those Deontay batted passes are running together to me now, too. But I know for a fact, obviously, we had, like I said, that one fumble definitely cost us in that red zone. And then it was another one at the end, if I remember correctly. No, we ended up scoring on that last 2. Yeah, excuse me on that one. So, still could be better in that vein. But to me, man, that's growth in the sense that those weren't the issues when we were talking about this first half of the season. Those became issues in the second half of the season. And if that's the issue that we got to get improved upon in terms of just getting schematically better or just executing better, because some of it wasn't all schematic. Some of the stuff I did feel guys were open. I mean, you show some of this stuff, where guys are running around in the back of the end zone and it's just timing off or the pressure might have got to him on this time. Is that type of stuff that, like you said, you just have to have a little bit more detail in that vein. But as a whole, man, yeah, I'm not tripping on the day, man. 28 points, man. Shout out to the good guys, man. But yeah, that's enough right there for on my end. Let's tap in, see what you guys have on your end. I see some supers in here, a ton of people in the chat section. Make sure y'all hit that like button one time for the culture, all right? And now that I think about it, do we have any announcements to make? Yeah, a ton of content, man. So y'all know I got the highlight tape. I dropped it, man. Everybody that was with me on Saturday at the watch party, the premiere at 5:52 p.m. Man, it was a dope scenario, man. Salute each and every one of y'all that was rocking with me, man. That was a blast. Know a ton of y'all been checking out that Mark Robinson film session. I dropped that a little earlier, man. Definitely tap in on that. That dude is super impressive, man. I can't wait to check the tape on what he did today also. Got the Robert Spillane that's out there as well. Upper room only, still early access. All right, so if you're an upper room member, it's a Robert Spillane film session that is sitting there waiting on you. All right, so tap into that before the general public get it, because y'all are the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. And then let me think, is there anything else on my end? Check out the website, arthurmoats.com. We keeping the most mailbag questions rolling, so keep those coming in, man. About to start tapping in and answering those on video for you guys specifically, all right? And I believe that is it. All right. So, Cal Moan, yeah, shout out to you starting it off the right way. Coach Tomlin is the freaking GOAT, baby. Future is bright. I would agree, man. Just once again, just showing what he does. When adversity strikes and people question, has he lost the team? When adversity strikes and people question, has he lost his touch? When people ask, is he still the guy for the job? Can he get the most out of these players? I think that this year showed that once again. I don't think he had to prove it to me, but for, the people that continue to question it, it's just like, all right, here's another example. Another example. Yeah, man. So I was extremely impressed with just the job that he did all season, and more importantly, what he did today, man, getting this team prepared to go, because mentally, let's be real, it's a lot. You obviously have the DeMar Hamlin scenario that's been playing out throughout the week. Now, granted, we're glad that he's doing a lot better, but that was still heavy on these guys, especially right here in Pittsburgh, where he's from, where he played, college ball at. Then you throw in the playoff scenario, right? Hey, man, we got a scoreboard watch. This Buffalo one, did the Jets win? They're all playing at the same time, and all the games are close. So even mentally, make sure they're locked in prior to the game starting, and then staying locked in throughout the game for 4 quarters. And then just the simple fact of having to beat a Cleveland Browns team that you knew was going to be fired up to beat you. So, yeah, man, when you think of all of those things as well and how the team came out and performed, yeah, even in the short term, shout out to Coach T, man. So I'm with you on that, Cowboy. Yeah, let's get it. All right. Let's go, UW. Says, Steelers reached their new standard of being over 500. But, hey, at least they can't be embarrassed in the wild card if they just don't make it. Well, that's all about perspective. I look at it like this, man. If you don't celebrate winning, what are we celebrating? If you only celebrate Super Bowls, there have only been 6 Super Bowl trophies here in Pittsburgh. So that's kind of the perspective thing that I like to refer to. But to each their own with their, mindset. Shout out to my man Cal. Yeah. Do we have pick 32 or 33? Some people are saying it's 32. I am not sure just yet. I'm thinking it was 32 though, but like I said, I'll double check that and we'll get a hard answer for you throughout the week. But I'm thinking it's definitely 32. That's off the top of my head. All right. Shout out to Jacob. CEO. Henny says, we did what we needed to do. Can't ask for more. You're absolutely right, man. We had to control what we could control. Now, we put ourselves in this position, and that's also part of it. But we took care of the business that we needed to take care of. When you talk about executing down the stretch, when you talk about clutch drives, when you talk about performance under pressure, we also saw this team continue to do that. And that is very impressive, man. We're not always going to win the Super Bowl. We're not always going to have these great seasons that, are a ton of fun and we're all over here beating our chest. Sometimes it is like this. But you need this as well because this is character. This is that foundation for the new run, the new wave. But you don't get to skip this phase. And that's the part that you have to remember. That's the part when we talk about perspective and expectations. And just understanding when we talk about the standard being the standard, what does that actually mean? Understand it. And that's the part that I feel like we got a chance to see in this season this year in a different context, but very much still just as important, just as present, and something that we needed. And I feel like this is going to be a huge building block for us going forward. But if you don't respect this, if you don't go through this, then you never get to the thing that has made us as fans be spoiled here in Pittsburgh. You got to earn that. And that's what they're earning right now, man. So salute them dudes, man. Official momentum. Shout out to Official. He says, what I say, 28-14, hashtag great season, hashtag bye Canada. All right, man, we will see. We will see. I know he's the lightning rod, and, a ton of people do want him gone. We'll see, though, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they do either or. If they keep him, I could totally understand why. Continuity, 7-2 down the stretch. When Kenny needed to get it going, he got it going. When they needed to throw a touchdown, they threw them touchdowns. When they needed to have big plays, they had them plays happening. You want to talk about creativity and all that stuff, it's like I seen that. But at the same time, we do understand his struggles, right? We're still talking red zone issues. Now, once again, context matters because is Najee Harris fumbling the ball on the goal line? Is that on him? No. But if we take it back before that, he actually had already scored a touchdown. Think about it. His knee wasn't down, but they decided to just go with the hurry up. And that's a decision play right there in the moment. So you can't, hate it overly one way or the other. But when I think of just the narrative of like the red zone issues, I'm like, we still put up 28 points. And we still should have had another touchdown that was in there as well. That was called a non-touchdown when the replay would have shown that it was, and then he just fumbles that ball trying to cross the goal line. So it's like, I see how people could want him gone, but at the same time, I could definitely see why people would want him to stay, man, to keep this thing rolling, to keep the continuity there, man. But like I said, we're going to see, man. We're going to see. We know Black Monday is coming up, man. A lot of coaches get the So we'll see how that thing plays out, baby. Mike Hood, salute to you, Moats. Well, salute to you as well. He says, watched your career tape. You are elite. Oh, man, you're making me feel special, man. Look, that's the thing. I was one of my little man. You know, little Gray was in here watching the highlight tape with me. He had a big smile. He was just elated. He thinks that I'm the best player ever. That's all I want. I just want my little man to be happy, man. But I appreciate you and your compliments as well. He says, not just elite podcasting. We need that speed on the Steelers again. Nah, man, y'all got them dudes, man. You got Highsmith and TJ, man. Let them boys cook it up. And scrape the pot one time, baby. Let's go. All right. Moats, thank you for everything. Hope Deke's okay with the praying emojis. Oh, absolutely, man. For the culture, he gonna be all right, baby. Hey, 9-8. Can he still play well? All is well. So yeah, all is well. All right. Jared Smith. Sad we are not in the playoffs, but going from 2-6 to 9-8, lots of upside to look forward towards next season. We'll be back. No, 100% we'll be back, and that's the thing I'm like, the confidence that this team is going to be playing with to start out next season, the way that this team is going to be able to carry this momentum into the offseason. When you talk about going 7-2, that is contagious winning. That is stacking performance. Good performance after good performance after good performance. That is finishing down the stretch. That's what is important, but that's a cultural thing. That's a mindset. It's mentality. And for this team, this new wave of players, because like we said, man, we had a lot of transition. It's a whole new roster. Coaching staff, everything is changing, right? Piece by piece. So this was going to be a part of it, man. But to see them be able to start off as slow and as sluggish as it was, and then for that bye week to hit, and now you start to see growth, progress, wins. That's what it's about. That's how you start building something here that's going to last for a while. And that's why it was critical for us to finish the way that we did down the stretch, man. So salute these dudes, man. And I'm with you. I cannot wait to see what this next season looks like for this squad, man, because we have a ton of pieces already here, and it's young pieces. That's the other part. So we're talking about adding something here, something there, but this group is just growing together. This group is playing with more confidence together, and they're going to trust each other on a whole nother level because of these experiences this year, man. So salute these dudes, man. Absolutely. Sean McCartney, what's happening, baby? He says another winning season for Tomlin. Absolutely salute that. That's the first prerequisite. And hey, you can't hate on winning. Let's be real about it, right? It's never a negative to win. Okay. Hope for Minka to get one of them interceptions to lead the league. Baby, I was with you. I thought he was going to get him one because Deshaun started to hand him out. It was a time Deshaun was like, yo, you want one? You sure? I was like, oh, baby, I thought he was going to get him one. I thought Spillane was going to get him one too. Levi ended up jumping it, but I thought Spillane was about to get one, man. So shout out to both of them dudes, though, man. He says also, can't trust the Jets to get it done. You can never trust the Jets. You knew that. We all knew you can't trust the Jets. Anybody that's spelling out their name, Jets, that means they S-U-C-K, suck. We get it. We do. We just had to hope for it, you know? But it's all good. It's all good. Because it's going to give us that fire. Sometimes you need it. Sometimes you need to have that taste of, man, we were hot, and we never got a chance to see what this could grow into. We never got a chance to see how much further we could take this thing because we didn't lose down the stretch. We just didn't get that next opportunity, man. So that's something that this team is definitely going to hold on to, man. Something that's going to motivate them, man, in a positive way. So, yeah, like I said, it's not all negative. And that's the other part. Like, do you want to make the postseason? Absolutely. Do you want to win a Super Bowl every year? Absolutely. But you're not going to do that every year. Sometimes you got to have a season like this, man, where you just have to grow, where you have to really just, keep fighting, keep scratching and clawing. And like I said, it was good to see that they could do that down the stretch at least, man. Ooh, chat. It's that Browns, man. Just no. Browns pack, baby. Hit a little different. Almost brought a tear to my eye. Sean McCartney also says, winning season with a rookie QB, gotta love it. No, 100% you gotta love that, man. Because there's no guarantee that a rookie quarterback is going to come in and play well for any reason. Whether it's lack of opportunity, whether it's lack of talent, whether the game is too fast for them, any of this type of stuff. So for those dudes to come in there, man, and ball out, and not just ball out, not those guys, but more importantly, Kenny Pickett, because he's the rookie quarterback. But for him to, go out there and do what he did this season, especially in some of these clutch moments, man, it was some times today where that game was tight. The Browns got it down to, was it at 4 points at one point in the game, and it was like, yo, we need a drive. We need to score. And what did he do? Delivered. And that's the promising part, man, because you start seeing that show up repeatedly now down the stretch. It's going to make you feel really confident that he can do that. That's one of the things that we loved about 7. So we'll see if Kenny can continue this trajectory, because he's been showing it. And like I said, it's been very impressive, man, and especially for a rookie to be doing that as well. All right. Ryan McPherson says, Moats, shout out to you and Deke for helping us through this crazy season with your insight and positivity. Salute you guys as well, man, because sometimes we need it both ways, all right? We need y'all a little bit crazy, and then sometimes we need to talk it down a little bit. So it's good, it's mutual, all right? But he says, I'm in a bad mood right now with the Dolphins-Jets outcome. What is your outlook on next season? I feel really good about next season. Talk about how we finished this season, 7-2. We ain't see a lot of losing. We ain't see a lot of bad performances. We ain't see a lot of self-inflicted issues. We saw a lot of growth. We saw a lot of positivity down the stretch. We saw a lot of young talent emerging as well. You talk about this rookie class. Let's talk about them for a little bit, right? What were they doing out there, right? Kenny Pickett. We feel really good about him, right? George Pickens. We feel really good about him. What about Jalen Warren? Another rookie. Impressive this season, right? Take it to the defense side of the ball. We saw Mark Robinson flashing out there. DeMarvin Leal carved himself out a little role, even pre-injury and then coming back post-injury. So we felt good. Connor Hayward, we saw him once again. Now, remember, early on, it was just special teams for Connor, but now you're starting to see him, and we started to see him have more of a role even on offense. All of these dudes, man, really showed up at various points in times this season and just help produce, man, help this team grow. So when you talk about the outlook on next season, when you have your rookie class hit the way that it did this year, that's something that you feel good about. That's something that you can start stacking on and saying that, hey, we have a foundation here with this group. You already still have your dope foundation when you talk about Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward. You feel really good with those guys. Even in the secondary, we still had a ton of pieces there that we feel good about. So, just in terms of the outlook on next season, I think that it's very optimistic, and it should be. Because right now, the only thing that's keeping us out of being in the postseason was a Jets, not being able to score 3 points versus the Dolphins, who were able to score those 3 points at the end of it. So in that context, I think that this team is going to be just fine going into next season, man. And yeah, we should be really excited about it. All right. Jacob Alicio says, will Canada be back? Moats, was it him calling plays? From my perspective, yeah, it was him. The only time we get this narrative of who's calling plays is when, good stuff happens and we don't want to credit a person that has been labeled as incompetent, even when that narrative doesn't always fit. And I think that that's one of them things, man. So with Canada, I really don't know. Me personally, I would lean that he probably will be back versus not being back, just because the continuity element of it, the success they had going down the stretch, the development from Kenny Pickett, the throwing attack, man, and how it started to open up more. We talk about some of the George Pickens stuff. We talked about Connor Hayward and what he was able to do, right? When you start to see that type of stuff, man, it's like, yo, as a coach, you're asking yourself, is it worth blowing that up? Is it worth stopping the progression that we've seen? We've criticized the team for scoring or not being able to score enough points, and even with all the red zone criticism that we gave them today, still was 28 points. And for a fact, should have at least been another touchdown, because Najee Harris did score on the initial attempt that he had prior to him fumbling on that same drive. So I personally don't think that they're going to try to mess with that. I know fans and media, that was a big push, but because of how the team performed offensively down the stretch, We talk about the sustained drive. You talk about the third down conversions and stuff like that, the minimizing turnovers. It's just a lot of positive that was going on. And it's like, I know we wanted it to be this, and then it was, okay, we wanted to be this, and then it was, we wanted to be that, and that, and that, and all these other different things. But eventually it's like, all right, how many times are we going to try to find something new to make as like the big ordeal? Because early on, it wasn't red zone. It was, can we get a first down? Could we get better on third down? Could we sustain drives? Could we get into the red zone? Could we keep the defense off the field and all these other things? And now it's literally come down to what? Can we just score more touchdowns in the red zone? Where we know that's going to be the most difficult part of the field of scoring anyway. So, me personally, that's long answer short. I don't think that they're going to move on from him, but I could be wrong. And if I am, man, like I said, I ain't tripping on it. It wouldn't surprise me either way, man. All right, Hot Sub says, realistically, today worked out as well as it could have for the Steelers' future. I do agree with you, in a to an extent there. I mean, I still feel like I would have wanted them to get in the postseason, even if that would have meant going to Buffalo and losing, or going to Buffalo and winning. Who knows? But even if that meant going to a place where you were going to have a hostile environment, I always feel like that experience is needed. I feel like that experience is very different than the regular season. And regardless of the outcome, you never forget it. You grow from it. You learn from it. So that's why for me, it's like, man, I would have loved for them to get in there, but it didn't work out like that. And that is also a part of this game. I think that's something that you need to have happen as well, because it just reminds you that you can't always depend on other people to take care of your stuff, man. Sometimes you got to handle your own business. And for the Steelers, they allowed it to get to the point where they had their fate relying on other people's hands. And that's something that they had to learn from. I know when I came here in 2014, that was the message. Because in 2012 and in 2013, they had lost. They didn't make the postseason. And more importantly, in 2013, it was directly related to them relying upon another team to get the job done and then that happening. And that was the whole messaging in 2014. We're not going to rely on anybody else. We're going to take care of business. We're going to make sure we do it. And ultimately, we were able to go ahead and win the division, host the playoff game. Now, we ended up losing that year in the wild card, but you see how everything started to grow after that. When I look at this team right now, man, it's like, nah, they'll remember this moment. They'll remember how they finished 7-2 down the stretch, how they went 4 in a row, won back-to-back division games, and then ultimately they had to look up and watch a Jets team let them down. They ain't gonna forget that, nah. But that's going to drive them, and that's what you need. And that's how you grow. That's how you continue to improve. Because you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You got that winning culture, that winning mentality, which was when we talked about not tanking, right? When we talk about winning being contagious, we talk about, oh, man, no losing season, and why people like just start to like minimize it, but it's nothing to minimize. It's because it's like, nah, that is contagious. Winning is contagious. I'd rather be around a winner than a loser. It's that simple, baby. And when you think about this team, that's what they were able to show, that they are winners, not losers. So with that, man, yeah, I like that a lot for them boys, man. I like it a lot, man. All right, James Reese, showing a little love. Shout out to James Reese. Oh, and then John Malmeister, I totally missed you. He says, what position you hoping for most round 1? Bruh, I do not know just yet. Give me like a couple weeks, though. A couple weeks, man, then I got you. But yeah, right now, I don't know all the way. Because, yeah, I really haven't like evaluated it like that. I know we drop names every once in a while, but yeah, I am not all the way there just yet, man. But yeah, a couple weeks I got you. All right, a couple weeks I definitely got you. All right, James Reese also said, Miami refs were bad. Man, I wish. I didn't get a chance to watch the game, man. I was so locked into the Steelers one. I ain't want to turn it. I wasn't even watching the Bills game, all right? Just to give you all context. And y'all know. I love to watch the Bills games, all right? But I ain't even watch. I ain't turn. Wifey was on one TV turning the channel back and forth. I had to leave. I said, I can't do that. I got to watch Steelers on today, all right? So just know, we was locked in. But dang, man. All them refs down in Miami had to be doing that, man. Come on, baby. How Flacco look? Did Flacco at least look good? If anybody was watching the game, drop it in the chat. Was Flacco at least looking good out there, man? Was he at least elite-ish? We shall see. All right. Fisher Momentum says, we better trade up for Joey Porter Jr. Yeah, man, I gotta see where they have him mocked at and stuff like that, man. But shout out to young JJ, man. Let's go. Oh no, Quentin Wagner said it ain't so. Flacco did not look good. Oh no. Hold in 92, he was garbage. Oh Lord, no. Rashana Hall, he was a doo-doo smoothie. Ew. And I like smoothies. Not doo-doo though. I ain't in there. What in the world? Jimbo said the wrong Joe played for the Jets today. I thought we was going to get Broadway Joe out that thing today. Golly. Y'all tell me we ain't get that Joe Flacco. We ain't get Elite. We ain't get that one. I thought he had. You know how us retired folk, we always like to be like, yo, I got one game left in me now. If you need me for one game, I got you, dog. He ain't had one of them for us today. Come on, Joe. Man, at least Joe could have just thrown it up like 70 yards downfield and got us a flag. You know, that's what he usually do anyways. But either way, I digress. Oh, Calvin said he was still the lead at that? All right, well, shout out there. Okay. We got Najee Loudpack. He says, yo, Moats, hope you're having an amazing year and even better Sunday. I am, baby. I was down there, got to talk to my homies, man. Got to see San Antonio, rap with him, interview. We'll drop that interview, man, from the stadium soon. Got a chance to see the other homies, man. Dude, Vince Williams, man, because his high school football team, you know, he came on the podcast, talked about that. But they won a state championship this year, man. Shout out to Pine Richland. You know, the dudes took care of business, man. So they had the team down there getting honored, man. So it was a dope vibe, man. And then come home, man, kick it with the fam. I'm good. I'm on cloud 9 right now. Baby girl just got her driving permit. All right, learning permit. So yeah, I'm feeling real good. Real good. Okay? But let me finish reading what you were saying. I'm very happy with this team and the season. Watch out for Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle from Ohio State. Yeah, I heard about him. Yep. If you get to do a film breakdown, check him out. Definitely will, man. I definitely will. And you know, when we get to draft season, which, like I said, for us, man, we'll probably start that a couple weeks you know, really diving into that and tapping into that a lot more. And then from there, yeah, I know how we do, man. We're going to tap on that film, man, give you reviews on all these players, man, mock drafts, all that good stuff. So, hey, don't go nowhere. We here all year round, man. It's not a season-only podcast, season-only show. You know, we do this thing around the clock, baby. So, yeah, but I definitely check him out. Oh, and then another reason why I'm enjoying my Sunday, my squad's won. Steelers won, Bills won. Come on, baby. We living. We good. Life's good, baby. Life real good. Okay? Sean McCartney says, hope past injury isn't nothing serious. Also, word of caution, for when we see these rookies next year, sophomore slumps is a real deal. Let them grow. Now, you're absolutely right, man. You got to let them grow. And when you talk about a sophomore slump, part of that is, you know, when you talk about these younger players, during that offseason, man, that first year, that sophomore slump happens because guys don't understand how to prepare for it. You got some guys that take that off season extremely serious. They dive in, they get it in, they work out like they've been doing their whole life, like they did all this first year going into the season, right? Because think about it. College players, you finish up your bowl game. Some of these guys play national championships, right? Then from there, you go off to wherever you're training at for the combine. Then after the combine, you got your all-star game. And then after that, you got your combine. Then after the combine, you're getting the draft. From the draft, you got rookie minicamp, vet minicamp to training camp season. So it feels like it's around the clock. And the issue happens is when those guys get to this offseason now, and then they just stop. They say, you know what, I'm chilling. I got my checks. I got my money, man. I got my limelight. I'm a star now. Like, I'm good. And they kind of take their foot off the pedal. So when that following season starts and it's a lot longer than what they're accustomed to, yeah, they start to break down a little bit more. They don't show up in elite conditioning. They are not, you know, ready to prepare or have that same level of edge. And that is why a lot of guys struggle to sustain their careers here. It's no surprise. Like I said, 2.5 years, man, is the league average for a reason in terms of career lifespan. Because of that, man, you got to have that edge with you. And for the guys that, you know, that will come back and will actually lock in and do what they're supposed to do this offseason, you don't have to anticipate a sophomore slump with them guys. Because it's real. Not everybody goes through that. Because some guys actually are going to take this thing serious, man, and be locked in the way they're supposed to and get out the gate and start this thing fast, man. So I'm feeling optimistic about this group, man. And more importantly, man, with the group that we have in the locker room with them, man. I do think we got just a good core group of guys right now. Not even just the rookie class, but just in terms of leadership, man. So they said, man, hopefully everything will be good. But we'll see what's up with Pat, man. Because, yeah, he definitely was at least he walked off on his own power, but it definitely looked a little bad, man, in terms of how he was walking off. Hopefully it's something minor, high ankle sprain type situation, nothing like fractured or nothing. So we shall see. All right. Jacob Alicio pulling back up says, realistically, how many players can we bring back? I would have to look to see exactly all of our unrestricted free agent guys. Off the top of my head, you got Edmonds, you got Bush. I have to see with Sutton. I believe he'll be unrestricted as well. Spillane, unrestricted. Nobody on offense off the top of my head. Oh, and on defense, Larry Ogunjobi, he's another one. And then we obviously got decisions on Akello Witherspoon and Will Jackson III. So, of that group, I mean, I think if they wanted to bring back at least two of them, they could. I think if they were trying to do Larry and another, whether it's Edmonds or Larry and Bush or Larry and Spillane or something like that, because I think those are probably going to be more on the higher end with their deals, especially Larry. The other guys, like I said, just a couple of M's, but you still want to, like I said, just factor it in. I think you do two of them. But, we'll see, though. We'll see, because the market obviously is going to dictate a lot. DeMonte Casey is another guy. Still finished the year, man, showing that he could still have ball hawking ability. We know he could show off his physicality at times this season. He just missed a lot of time because he was injured, but he still flashed. So we'll even see with him what that looks like, man. But I do feel confident that the guys that the Steelers circle and say, hey, man, we want these guys back particularly, I think that they will be able to get them back. I think Larry's the only one that I question in the sense of, will we be able to retain him? Because I think that he will cost the most of all of our guys that are going to be unrestricted. I think he is going to command some real money out there on the market, and rightfully so. But if we're willing to commit to him, I think we can get him back. So we shall see how that plays out, though. And, of course, yeah, because that's it right now. Yeah, because Highsmith's still under contract. No, he's not under contract. Highsmith's going to cost. Excuse me on that one. Highsmith is going to cost the most. Then it'll be Larry Ogunjobi. There we go. Now I got that right. Yeah. Highsmith's going to cost. Yeah. Let me make sure. I think Highsmith actually has 1 year left. Make sure. Yeah. I should be correct on that one. Yes. Double, triple check real quick. He should have one left on that thing. All right. Yes. Yep. So he has one left. So, yeah, we're still good on that, man. We just got to pay him on the front end. But, yeah, we're good there. So, yeah, man. So, like I said, in terms of the guys that we want to bring back, I think we will be able to get back guys that we want. I think Larry definitely takes the president, though, man, in terms of who needs to be priority number one that we're trying to return. Then after that, I would... Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'll probably go Larry. I'm stuck between who would I want back more, Edmonds or Spillane, in terms of that priority, and then kind of going down there. Yeah, but that's a good group, though, man. Like I said, either way, whoever we're looking to bring back, I think we will be able to get those guys back, though. Alrighty. Fish Momentum, we need another fan live event, Moats. I'm working on it. It's going to happen. All right. He also says, ambition at Rivers, February 10th. Moats, stay for half an hour. I'll see what I can do. I don't be out like that, though. But I'm going to see what I can do. Sean McCartney says, we'll have to wait for more Steelers football, but can't wait for you to cover the draft and UFC fights like Ngannou versus Jones. No, I can't wait, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. Yeah, when the offseason hit, man, we start talking about all the good stuff, man, all the fixings. But yeah, man, like I said, the show's still going to be going on, so definitely keep tapping in with us, man. We just keep this thing rolling because that's what we do, And that's what it makes it fun because people like you guys as well, man. So salute each and every one of y'all. Keenan Fuller. Where does Flores land? Great ending, in my opinion. I would agree. I love the ending. I think it was a dope ending. And in terms of where he lands, selfishly, I hope he stay here in Pittsburgh. Selfishly. Realistically, I think he's going to get another opportunity. I would simply say, let's see where Sean Payton ends up first. And then from there, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he realistically gets an opportunity, man, at a I think it's gonna be some openings, man. Oh, that's a whole nother conversation, though, right? Who gets got in terms of the Black Mondays? Yeah, because I definitely think that Flores is, in terms of him showing what he's capable of, that was never in question in Miami. It was just whatever was going on behind closed doors, and ultimately that's what led to the lawsuit. But even to see how our linebackers played this year and the varying players that we used, Miles Jack, Devin Bush, Robert Spillane, Mark Robinson, all four of them dudes at multiple times this season came in and contributed for us, man. Made big time plays for this team, man, and helped them win. And that's a direct impact and direct reflection of Brian Flores, man. So, yeah, man, like I said, selfishly, I hope he stays here. But I do feel like he's going to get another opportunity, and rightfully so, because he's earned it, man. And he should have never lost the opportunity in the first place. So, Keenan Fuller. Oh, nope, that was one I just read. All right, Farron Bradford. He says Canada has earned another year. But if 8 doesn't grow under his leadership, he's gone. Do you think 5-5 returns? He could excel more in a 4-3. Yeah, I personally do feel like Matt Canada did earn him another spot. I told you, man, for me, it was what he did after the bye week. I wanted to see him exclusively with Kenny, where he was going to get that full range and just let him grow, and all those guys could start to get on the same page, and I saw that. That's why I like a lot of what I was saying down the stretch and why I've talked about it the way I've talked about it. So, yeah, man, in terms of Canada, I'm with you, man. I do think, that he should have earned it, but we shall see how that goes. In terms of Kenny, I think he's going to keep growing. And I think the areas that we're looking for him to grow in specifically as well, I want to see him be more aggressive at times, but actually finishing it. You look at him in these fourth quarters, these past couple of games, he's aggressive, but he's pinpointing some of his accuracy. He hits what he needs to hit. I just want to see him continue to do that, but expand it even more. And we'll see how much further he can expand it to, and that's going to be the telltale sign of if he is truly an elite quarterback, a really good quarterback, a good quarterback, average quarterback, below average, or bad quarterback. That to me is the thing, man. At this level, everybody can make plays. But how frequently can you do it? How consistent can you do it? And for how long can you do it? That's the big thing, man. And I thought that Kenny did show a lot of that and more of it down the stretch. We just got to see that continue to happen. And as long as that keeps going, I'm cool with Coach Canada and the way this team plays in the terms of the offensive style. But it has to be continued growth, and that is what we were seeing post-bye week. So, like I said, if that's what I was asking for, I can't trip on it, all right? And in terms of do I think Bush returns, I do and I don't. So I guess that's a no. So the reason I say I do is because I do feel like he's going to get an opportunity to test the market, but I just see the scenario kind of playing out like Edmonds last year. Remember, Troy Edmonds tested the market, didn't return the dividends that he wanted, so ultimately came back here, signed for a very, very team-friendly deal, and played really well this year. I see a scenario where Devin tests the market, it's not what he thinks it is, and he comes back here. I can also see a scenario where he tests the market and the team is, they both kind of mutually say, change the scenery is good for both of us. Devin I can see him saying that, hey, I want to play on a 4-3 defense, because I do think he would thrive in it, just like how you said, because when you watch him on tape, when we've run our 4-3 schemes, he's had some of his best games. But then at the same time, it's like, I could totally understand him wanting to just be in a 4-3 defense, man, elsewhere. And for the Steelers to just say, we want to just kind of move in a different direction. We got a young Mark Robinson we're excited about. We probably draft a dude. See, in terms of Miles Jack, how healthy he is, man, and just keep rolling with him, and obviously Spillane and stuff. So, like I said, man, it'll be interesting with both of those scenarios, but that's why I said I could really see it going either way, specifically with Devin, man, because it is that weird dynamic, man, with just how everything has played out with the expectations, what they gave up to get him, and then kind of how he produced, and then what happened post-injury, and then even this season, how it started out, but then at the end of the year, them switching to having more of Mark Robinson playing. It's just a lot that goes on with that, and when you're talking about contract negotiations, I don't know where Devin's mind's going to be at. And when you throw in him trying to have leverage in some of these contract negotiations, I just don't really see him having a ton of it right now. But like I said, we'll see how everything plays out with it, though. But that's kind of like my long and short answer with that. Bennett Parikh, he says, what are the chances we keep Matt Canada? Low here, like 80%, baby. I'm trying to tell you, Coach Tomlin loves consistency, baby. He loves consistency. He loves to feel like he's winning with the band of misfits. He loves to feel like, yo, when everybody doubts us, we just go ahead and keep marching to the beat of our own drum. He loves that type of stuff. And even though this doesn't win a lot of style points, even though we had 28 points today quietly, he's one of those guys that he'll rock with that. He'll stick with this because he doesn't want to disrupt the progression. He doesn't want to disrupt the continuity, the trust, because those are all the intangibles that you still need to win at this level. Granted, you have to have guys that can call plays and they have a great feel for it and stuff like that, but that relationship matters. That continuity matters. And I think that that's one of those things for Coach Tomlin that I don't see him being in a hurry to just break up with how well this team finished down the stretch. So I do think it's about 80%, man, that he's going to be back, baby. Maybe even higher. But I could be very wrong, man. So we shall see. But I definitely think that, it's leading a lot more towards him coming back, man. All right. Mark T, 36. Moats. You see that play action to Gentry? Canada must watch these. He called that play just to pacify me. Every once in a while, man, he tap into that play action bag. That's not his game, but what is his game? The Derek Watt hit again and for touchdown this time. Holla. Hey. The Derek Watt, man. I'm loving it, bro. I'm telling you, every time the Derek Watt hit, we're going to win. As soon as I see the Derek Watt, this time for the tutty, he was, for the tutty, slam it. He definitely got to work on his celebration. It's super weak, but I still loved it, though. The energy was there, man. Come on, baby. That's that Matt Canada, right? That's a Matt Canada production, all right? Shout out to the Matt Canada productions out there, man. Jet sweeps and them day going, the Derek Watts. Take that, take a Derek. Tell you, baby. It's undefeated, bro. Except that one time when it didn't work. But other than that, it's undefeated. Shout out to Matt Canada. And shout out to the play action pass. And shout out to you, Mark T, 36. Let's go. Alrighty. Oh, and shout out to the homie Lil B, man. I see, or Lil Big, you said it's your birthday, man. So big time. Happy birthday to you there, baby. And glad that you're here, man. Shout out to the Steelers taking care of business, get you a dub on your B-Day. Alrighty. Official man to me says, best B-Day gift to my dad. A FaceTime from Moats. I don't do live FaceTime, but I do cameos, man. Hit me up on Cameo. Get your personalized video. Bam. So either way, I got you, all right? So, yeah, man. But, like I said, man, it's definitely a vibe today, man. Definitely a vibe. Unfortunately, like I said, no postseason for us this year, man. Just ain't take care of what they needed to take care of. But still, as a whole, man, super impressed with how this team ended the season, man. The resiliency was there. And that's ultimately what we needed, man, going forward, man. Oh, we had another one? Shout out to Farron Bradford. He says, I got the full scouting report breakdown and mock draft ready. Potential free agent list ready as well. Let's ride. Of course. Farron said, I've been waiting on this moment. It's off-season time. And when it's off-season time, it's draft time. We got you, baby. Trust me, we got you. We got you. We're going to get you right, baby. Draft time is happening. We going to keep this thing rolling. Like I said earlier in the show, man, I'll say it again right now before we tap up out of this thing. Yeah, man, podcast, man, still roll with us, man. We still carry this thing into the off season where we'll follow, like I said, pre-draft stuff, finishing up Super Bowl, obviously following the playoff stuff like that, man, free agency, all that type of stuff. We still have interviews, man, so you definitely don't want to leave this thing, whatever you do. All right. But other than that, though, man, it has been a dope regular season vibe with each and every one of y'all, man. Y'all know the podcast tapping off tomorrow, 4 p.m. start time. Definitely don't want to miss that, man. We'll obviously have my man Deke in here. We'll react to this thing with the group as well. But y'all stay safe out there. Y'all enjoy y'all victory today, all right? And even though we ain't in the postseason, y'all still turn up one time, all right? Make sure y'all research extra hard. Hit that like button on the way out. And until next time, baby. Peace.